Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at everything that is wrong with boxing. We're going to be going over this fight and how Floyd Schofield is allowed to fight the way that he fights. Plus, we're going to talk about commentary, all this stuff. I'm super pissed about this fight. This is so stupid. This is just one of the most disgusting displays of refereeing, fighting. All of it is just horrible. But first, we're going to set a little pace, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of Suero controlling the line, right? Controlling, pushing him to the front foot, smacking him, miss, right? Schofield gets under it, moves off the line. Decent timing, decent rhythm, gets right back to the line. And Floyd Schofield is a pendulum fighter if I've ever seen one, right? Think a super jacked Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, we all know that Navarrete has holes. We see it because he's slow, right? But he has a pendulum style and he generates a lot of weight. But Schofield has no defense, okay? He lacks a lot of the very, very, very basic understandings of boxing. But because it's not often that you're going to fight someone who's as fast and jacked as Floyd Schofield, so anyone he's more fast and more jacked than, he has a higher chance of knocking out, especially if they're just not in good shape at all. They're not going to be able to get away from the kind of power that he's going to be able to get off. But I want to kind of demonstrate a point real quick. Um, One of the things that he's doing here, it's not actually that difficult. And this was a video that somebody sent in, and no fights, right? But he can do all the same stuff that um, Schofield can do, right? Leaping hooks and this and that and all this stuff. Now, he was one of the winners. I have a thing coming, guys. Don't worry. I have a thing coming. A big, big, big project I've been working on. I just texted my man on it a second ago. But this guy's one of the contest winners. He's got all this pendulum talent, all this ability to kind of 2-foot punch and do all that stuff. And I gave him a copy of the system to kind of help him figure out what he needs to do with this athleticism, with this speed, with this leaping stuff. Very similar to Floyd Schofield. Add some structure to what he does. Now, the reason I'm showing that is Schofield doesn't really have a guard. He's not really like, you know, I want to say a good boxer, but he's very explosive. Now, as we watch him leap in with this big leaping hook, down, up, jumps into the air, he's going to pendulum onto his opponent's line. But when we take a look at this beat here and this rhythm of the fight, what do we think about Schofield? Do we think that this is a good position to be in? No. How many times have we seen Devin Haney do something similar and get hurt doing it? I mean, only a few times, very rarely, right? But this guy is what Devin Haney would be if Devin Haney could really pendulum and leap and 2-foot punch, right? Devin Haney doesn't really use both of his feet to punch and do stuff. But you'll get away with this much longer and you'll fight from like, you know, from the wrong side of boxing, right? Because again, what this guy does is not really boxing. Okay, he's jumping around the line using massive explosive movements, and he's hoping that when he catches you, he's going to hurt and drop you. Right now, he's not really protected. Tries to grab after. Is that a foul? Okay. No. Again, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff in this fight. Talk about the officiating. Talk about this. Talk about who the dirty guy is. All that stuff. Yada yada yada. Okay. Now, moving around, and again, Schofield's greatest asset is that he's explosive. So look at him getting into his little karate rhythm, penduluming here. As he's penduluming, he's getting worked on, right? Control, control, pushed off the line, trying to get into a rhythm, trying to get into a pace, find a place where he can start exploding. 2, 3, catches him with a good shot. Watch him over pendulum, and now immediately, this is his best thing. Immediately after doing his best thing, controlled the line perfectly, snuck into the position, landed the left hook, comes down and eats a shot. Right? And we can clearly see that he can't really defend this punch here. Okay? And then as we mosey on to the next sequence, okay? Moves into another leaping shot, because he kind of got him the last time. Another one. Bad position here, right? Gets countered. I can see that it doesn't connect here. But we can see that Suero can see the timing. He can see the rhythm of this very, 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 very easy to see, right? Basic movement. However basic and whatever, it's extremely necessary to understand how to control it, right? Because it's a part of how your body works, right? And again, if you want to learn all this stuff, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. Um, we'll actually have I think at the end of this thing, we'll try to have a question, and the winner of the question we'll get a free copy of the Fouts Boxing Combat System. So stay tuned, yada, 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 all that fun stuff. Um, but we can see clearly that Suero, even in the first round, the most dangerous round for Schofield, right? Schofield is the most dangerous. He's the most fresh he's going to be of the entire fight. He's going to be hitting the hardest, be the fastest, right? And his timing is already being picked off, right? So what does that mean for the fight? Okay, gets back to the 2, leaps in with the 3. The guy kind of gets under it. But again, watch how Schofield comes forward, okay? Watch how he comes forward and he grabs his opponent's head. Okay, it's very, very, very important. But also his head is coming forward too. Look at how his head is going to be being pushed into his opponent's head. All right, now as we take a look, as we move forward, maybe get to the next clip. Here, jumps on the line, boom, throws that same left hand, shifting forward again, boom, boom, countered, right? Again, not very good at defending that left hand, all that big pendulum, all that weight, all that power. It's great. If your opponent can see it coming or interact with it really well, it's one punch is not enough, right? And even if you hit that guy, right, a lot of times, one punch in a fight is not enough. You got to still be able to fight off these punches. But as he comes forward, getting controlled, coming under that, and then he throws the 2, throws the 3, and again, look at how he wraps his arm around his opponent's head, and he's got him in a Muay Thai clinch now, and he's holding his opponent's head. Now, most of the time when you wrestle a guy and you're going to out this or out that him, out muscle him, some people call it wrestling. It only works if you're the bigger, stronger guy, and this guy is bigger than Schofield. Schofield had a struggle, right? Controlling this guy on the inside. But here's the thing. I know that people want to claim that this guy's dirty. But the entire time that Schofield is throwing punches, he's in danger because he's big, giant pendulum leaping shots. But also his weight is always crashing down into his opponent. And it is not his job, right, as his opponent pendulums onto his line and brings his feet and starts trying to wrestle and grab and tire him out. It's not his opponent's job to move his feet too. Do you understand? And Schofield is constantly putting himself in positions like this. 1, 2, shifting forward. Now, where's his weight? It's literally on top of Suero's body, right? Inside of his line, right? There's no base. His head's not even on his own base. And as they come forward and they crash, big, huge cuts, big, huge gashes. And all of this is Floyd Schofield's fault. Okay, and again, it's very, very, very important that you understand that this is the reason why this guy's getting cut so much. He has no idea what to do with all this athleticism, right? His coaches don't know what to do because they can't do it, so they can't teach him what it's supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to do with it, what you're supposed to, how you defend your positions, right? He doesn't really have a system for going down, up. Again, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. If you can do anything like this, you can go through that system. If you're as strong as this guy, in 2 months, if you do the patterns and you get good at it, you'll be incredible. Okay, you got to work hard still. You're not gonna. It's not easy work, But so much of what goes on in this fight, in terms of fouls, is actually Floyd Schofield's fault. Okay, again, he's gonna get on the line, jumps in there, boom, throws his shot. Now again, he has a very, very difficult time, and I think Schofield probably is a left-handed fighter. I think that. Whoops, a little break there. But so much of this stuff is Floyd Schofield's fault, right? What he's doing, shifting forward, he gets that 2 off, and he doesn't really protect that punch very well. Okay, now after throwing the shot, boom, up, immediately controlling and holding his opponent's head, right? And again, because he's throwing this shot, he doesn't know how to protect it. He winds up in a position where he has to be the one fouling, right? Now, his opponent is grabbing his waist here, but let's not forget the fact that his opponent literally just flew across the ring, right? And again, this is, I think, one of the reasons why his opponent is Southpaw now, or why um, Schofield is fighting Southpaw now, is because it's easier for him to get an angle like that and get out. This was a much easier angle for him to protect and foul and get away with, right? Than winding up like Devin Haney, right? Who always winds up ducking below the waist and grabbing, and it makes it very obvious. This makes it less obvious. But again, he's flying around and penduluming into his line, right? And he's fouling because this is an opportunity that um, Sweru should be having to attack him when he's off balance, right? If the guy's being made, right? And again, throwing Sweru, right? Now, what did the fight actually look like? Well, what did the fight actually look like? Sweru was actually, I think, kind of beating up on Schofield. I don't think Schofield was nearly in this fight as much as people were making it out to seem. Getting picked off there multiple times, very, very, very easily on the way to the line, moving, circling. Again, very, very poor defense. Okay, not very able to block punches. He does have a couple of pull counters, right? But again, moving, moving, circling, and when he doesn't want to be explosive, he can't box his opponent. He can't really set anything up here. He's not really getting any work done. And again, right over the top, not really blocking because he can't box. He's not using his straight punches like the jab. We're going to see some examples of his jab again later. But getting picked off here and having to use his body weight, right? As we take a look at this, moving back, boom, boom. And now he immediately shoves his opponent, which is illegal. Okay. Now we're going to be getting to the other fouls and the other stuff that go on. Boom. Now his opponent throwing an excellent shot, probing, getting him to throw that crappy hook, right? Again, it's not crappy, it's powerful. But not to shit on my fan, right? But my fan who has, he said he has no boxing training, right? He's doing this same punch but better than Schofield. Now Schofield exposed, gets countered. We can see that his opponent doesn't land the punch, but again, we can see the exposed thing. We can also see that his opponent was able to bait him into throwing this shot in order to counter it, right? And so far, the only way that we've seen Schofield be able to defend that punch is to hold and jump on top of him. Now down, controls the beat with the two here, leaps into the shot here, and now again, penduluming on top of him, holding him, right? Again, this is not legal, right? This is not legal. Okay. Now he didn't actually throw that punch. I wanted to cut it off before, but I missed on my thing or whatever. But it's really important. Again, this is not legal boxing. This is not how boxing works, right? This is like that guy in that fight who's like, he's just going to do that one kick where he jumps and does a flip and then he tries to hit you on the way down and then you're not allowed to kick him when he's on the ground and then you just keep doing that, right? There's no chance to counter him. Like, oh, you missed the kick, but now there's no time to attack him. You got to wait for the referee and it just eats up time on the clock. Okay, now why do we want to eat time up on the clock, right? Well, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, I'm going to show you. Boom, getting countered here, right? Because he's got a pendulum in, almost getting countered here. But again, the guy was bigger than him, controlling space, shooting this shot, getting countered on the inside. But again, look at him trying to grab his head in the middle of this sequence, right? Now, again, all that space there, he's penduluming forward, leaping forward, not really protecting his punches. And again, you can see when he goes for that little kind of Muay Thai clinch in the air, this is why he's getting headbutted so much. This is the reason he has so many cuts on his face, so many, boom, he got hit right there. But it's his own fault. Sean Porter used to have this exact same problem. You guys remember that? And Paulie Malignaggi was mad at him. He's like, oh, I don't want to get beat by just an athlete, just by And here's the thing, Sean Porter is better than this kid. I don't know if Sean Porter throughout the end of his career is going to have as many knockouts percentage as this kid does, right? Because this guy's quite a bit. I don't want to say like he's a little bit stronger than Sean Porter. Again, pushed off the line, now controlled, tries to parry. Here's the control, leaps in with that big leaping hook. Kind of gets him. And look at how he has to control the line, shoots the jab, and again puts him in a headlock because he's penduluming onto his opponent's line, and this is how he has to control and wrestle him. Now again, this when you do this to somebody who's weaker than you, right? You know, like you're just gonna hold them. The referee is gonna be like, oh, they're just chilling right there, but you don't know how much like you don't know what kind of squeeze they got, right? Well, how much of a squeeze he's got on his head right here. He's gonna hold him in this position, but this only works when you're the stronger guy, that you get to hold and foul here and hold and drain and keep on the right. If you're not the stronger guy, that guy's gonna pick and lift you up. And that's just what it is. And we've seen that countless times. What happened when someone leaned on top like Miguel Cotto? Oh, he's like, well, I'm the stronger guy here. I'm gonna lift him up. And then what happens? They don't do it again. But Floyd Schofield doesn't have a an option. It's the only way that he can protect literally the only punch that he can throw. And this guy's no Ryan Garcia. He's not killing dudes with his left hook, right? But this is not legal. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to just pendulum on your opponent's line, throw that big leaping crap, right? And then just be like, okay, well, it's his fault. It's his problem to deal with it. Now, is he landing? Because he's definitely getting countered here. Again, makes it so obvious, down, up. And again, we can see when he gets back onto the line, control, boom, boom, down, up, bah. Gets him a little bit, gets him real good. But when we watch him come to the line, look at his face. Why is his foot, right, so deep inside of his opponent's line? Number one, you don't want your foot where Schofield put his foot, right? You don't even want it there. But Schofield doesn't know what to do with his feet. He has no idea where they're supposed to go. He probably doesn't even know that he can choose, because so much of his pendulum work is on accident, right? But he winds up putting himself again in a position where he's headbutting him, right? And he gets hit in the head again. Now, again, getting countered here, coming forward, missing again, getting countered here on that same timing, getting countered again, maybe, kind of. But Schofield, you can see very clearly that there's no particular advantage by him as you go through the fight. And I think most of this is still in the second round. Boom. And again, throwing this shot. Now, again, look at where he pendulums. Look where he throws his feet on his opponent's line. Again, so he doesn't have to pay for throwing that big leaping crap at his opponent. He gets away with just being a big athlete who just jumps in there, throws big donkey punches at people. And it's like, okay, well, I'm the golden child here, right? This guy has fouls from the last, I'll just do whatever I want, tangle up, you know, but this is not legal either. You can't just force yourself ramming into your opponent and wrestle. Now, again, I don't know how the commentators were scoring the fight, because countered here, jumps on his line, shoves him, right? Because he has to make space for his own feet, right? Because now his feet are literally on top of his opponent's feet, and in order to keep his momentum going, he has to shove him. Illegal, right? Now, again, I do think that this guy was stronger than Schofield. But again, all of those fouls were on Schofield, right? So far, nothing on boom. Lands a 2-3 kind of thing, right? Gets countered, right? And again, this is what the fight actually looked like, right? Getting countered, can't really move through the line, gets countered when he's coming for the shot, boom, pulls, counter, right? Makes it to the front foot, left hook, kind of gets him, right? Not bad, not bad. As we move through the fight, boom, boom, kind of get a little bit, get checking the line, boom, boom. And again, Schofield can't even stay on the line with this guy at all. We can see that most of the fight, if he's not throwing these big shots, leaping shot, countered again while he's leaping, and the other guy Suero makes a decent job getting off the line here, while that guy's look at where this starts here, you guys. Look at where Suero's body is. Boom, jumps here. Boom, boom. Now look at where he starts. Look at where Schofield starts, and look at where he ends. Okay. If Suero didn't move, where is Floyd supposed to land? Bodied up, right? Crashing into his opponent. And then he gets countered, and look at what he does. Oh, you hit me in the back of the head. Oh. Again, like how absolutely disgustingly disingenuous, right? And again, the referee has to protect him by the end of this fight. Control, getting picked off again, free shot, free shot, free shot, no defense. Okay, the fight did not look like what people were trying to make it sound, right? Now, again, when he would want to go, here we are in the third round, down, very obvious, shoots the jab, pendulums in. Now, what I want you guys to watch here, okay, again, look at him, crashing into him, boom, down, up, comes back down. Look at his head right here. Look at Suero's head. Look at how he's getting literally elbowed in the face here, right? And again, getting pushed and shoved off of his line and wrestled. This is illegal, okay? This is illegal. And here's the thing, like, it's so uncommon, right? Do you guys remember when the last time we had a guy who could do this? Who could leap around and duck and dodge and dive and actually fight like this, kinda? He wasn't the greatest, I'm not trying to say that. But he was like not bad at it. He was like okay. Do you guys know? Ricky Hatton. Nobody respects Ricky Hatton, man. He was one of my favorite fighters. I knew Mayweather was, no matter what the rules were, no matter how much Mayweather might cheat or whatever, he was going to beat the brakes off of Ricky Hatton for sure. But Ricky Hatton did give him a tough fight. Ricky Hatton is a pendulum fighter. Now, a lot of times you go to, people want to like do that crappy fake boxing where everything is like, oh, we're just going to throw the first punch, and if you get me, you got me, and that's how we know. Oh, just be real quick, and then if you get a guy, it's like tag, right? Like tag sparring, right? Maybe you punch me in the face and I'm a better athlete than you. Maybe surprise me. Maybe I can still smack you real hard. You still got to try to defend your position, right? But Mayweather kind of has that like style where he wants you to kind of settle down and sit in front of him, and then he wants to pick you off and then run away. Just be real fast. Throw something real fast and sneak up on you and then get a point, right? And then he's gonna go approach the line and be sneaky and get a point. But here we have Floyd Schofield, who's like literally on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, who's just trying to leap and push and punch and throw and shove. And again, this is illegal. This is wrestling. He's putting his base underneath his opponent's base, right? And then using his weight not to punch, but to shove him. Okay. And again, it's illegal. Okay. Talk about dirtiest fighter ever. And then again, here's another one. Almost gets countered, comes up, right? Might have smashed his head into this guy, shoots another one, miss. But we can see how much distance he's clearing. Where is he supposed to land, right? If Suero's not moving off the line. Now, most of this guy's sparring partners probably do move off the line. Now, again, what does the fight look like? Stepping in, leaping hook here, smacks him. Throws a leaping shot here, counter, counter. This is what the fight looked like, okay? Jab, counter, leaping shot again. Where's his weight supposed to go? Again, he's fighting Suero for his line. He was there first, right? And now he picks him up here. It's like, okay, get your weight off of me, right? And like finally, like, why is this the big deal, right? Why is this guy getting penalized for that guy putting him in headlocks all fight, trying to protect his best punch, right? Was that even the case here? Yeah. Getting on the line, leaping hook, leaping cross thing, gets on the line here. Again, good placement of his hand, but you're not allowed to hold the guy's head down. You're not allowed to leap on his face and shove him around with it, right? Put him in a headlock, hold your weight on it. And again, this only works when you're the stronger guy. And we can see clearly that's not the case here. And if the stronger guy, right, wrestles you, shows you what time it is, you're supposed to stop wrestling, right? Because this is what time it is, Floyd. You're not as good of a wrestler as you think you are. Anyway, that guy Suero loses a point for that. How often does that happen, right? What happens when you lean on top of Canelo Alvarez? The guy's just standing up. Are you not allowed to stand up? Well, if you try to stand up and you're not the stronger guy, you're just going to burn out. You're going to get real tired. If you are the stronger guy, you're going to pick him up, right? Not only does Suero have to fight to have control of his own line for his feet, but he's not even allowed to stand up. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Anyway, getting back to the fight, getting on the line, control, counter, easy work. Counters him twice with a double jab, bop, bop. Off the line for the second, counters him again. And this is what the fight looked like. This kid was a fish out of water, right? Fighting a guy who's, not really that good, right? He's kind of fast. He's kind of in shape. He's strong, right? Little tiny legs, though, little baby legs. But this kind of stuff, you actually gotta. You can't wrestle a guy who's bigger than you. I don't know, like there's an easier way. But again, jumps on his line. What is this guy supposed to do? You know, this is his space, right? Floyd Schofield is moving into it, putting his legs there, right? Trying to force this guy off of his line, and he's not getting warned about it. This is there was a southpaw guy who did this, and he would score a lot of knockdowns. Chris Congo fought him. I don't even want to say his name. I don't want to give him any, like, even dignify him because of what a scumbag martial artist he is. But uh, Michael McKinson, I think that's what it was. But he would jump on the guy's line and then get his legs in behind him, punch him, and then try to trip him. Trying to use a little bit of judo and shit. And that's essentially what I guess this guy's trying to do is a very, very, very crude form of judo, right? Getting his base underneath him and then trying to shove him. But this guy should not be losing points for defending his line like this, right? We can see again, this guy's not a very good boxer, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with being able to do this stuff. You need to be able to do the stuff that Floyd's doing, right? But you got to be able to protect it. You got to be able to set traps. You got to be able to actually box with it, right? At the highest level, you're not just going to beat every guy with crappy boxing just because you're a crazy good athlete. Leaping shot misses and again jumps onto his line, grabs his arm. And again, this is why he has so many headbutts. That's why he has so many, right? And that's exactly what the fight looked like the entire time, that Suaro wasn't countering him and beating him. Now he jumps up, comes down, tries to hold him. Again, puts him in a headlock. But again, this is his fault. He shouldn't be able to put this guy in a headlock and hold his head down here to protect that crappy punch. And again, he would get picked off, kind of easily outboxed on the outside. And then this guy would look for a break and start leaping up and jumping. And he had basically like no success most of the fight. Had basically no success most of the fight finding shots until like the last round he started catching him with a couple of shots. But again, he's the one initiating them getting this close, and he's not trying to even punch when he gets there, right? Why is he not punching, right? Doesn't make any sense. That's why you want to be close to a guy, right? Jumps on his line, throws the shot, shifts forward, gets on top of him again, right? A little less right there. But again, this guy just doesn't know how to create a base. He doesn't know what to do with his feet. Getting countered, boom, getting countered again, right? Easily walking onto his line again. Control, control, two. Here's that left hook counter, pulls off, counters him again. So much of the fight was just sequences like that over and over and over again, right? Timing his pendulum. Here he is on the front foot, back foot, and now he pendulums, stepping hook. Again, Schofield couldn't keep this guy off his line. He had nothing for the guy. Leaping shot again. Where's his weight supposed to go? Right? Now, did a good job, caught him with a really good shot here, gets into the ropes, gets under him, and now again, look at his base. Look at how overcrowded he is. Right? There's no space even there for the other guy to even be. Getting here again, look at his foot, right? Again, take a look at where his foot winds up being. Shifting forward. Why is his foot in between and past Sureo's feet, right? Again, if his stands up here and he would break his base, or if he stands up, he would break his base. And again, all fight long, this guy's getting away with this, right? And he's the one that's initiating the wrestling, right? Boom, control. Again, Schofield just not nearly fast enough to really compete with this guy all fight. Boom. Does catch him with a good shot here, right? Pretty decent. Gets him into this position again. And again, Schofield leaping. Now, again, where's his line supposed to go? He pendulums with his left hook every single time, right? Holds the guy's head down, punching, punching. The referee says no knockdown, but he doesn't warn uh, Floyd for holding his head down. Control, control, leaping shot, and again, jumps on top of him, right? Suero he's literally on top of Suero here. His weight is all the way on him. Whose fault is this? Right? To be honest, absolutely disgusting. And this is the state of the sport, right? You gotta, oh, well, maybe Devin Haney is gonna sell a lot of tickets because he's got the gab, right? He talks real good, so we got to keep him undefeated. He lost to Lomachenko easily. Lomachenko beat his ass, right? Why would he get a win in that fight? Well, nobody likes Lomachenko, right? Nobody's worried about him. It's like I don't know if you guys ever watched American Idol or whatever, but um, the guy who got second place didn't really usually sell that many albums, but the guy who got first always sold 1 million, and then the guy who would be really good, they would actually make that guy get second place so that the first place guy could sell a lot of albums to the people who don't know shit about music just because, oh, I got the American Idol, even though it's crap. And then everyone who winds up liking music, like normal people who don't watch American Idol and don't like the crap that comes off it, the runner up has the good music, people embrace it because it's good music. But they sell way more CDs by making the bridesmaid win, right? Anyway, in the attempt to always make everyone else a bridesmaid to Floyd Schofield, he gets all these gift decisions in these little sequences that he's cheating in. He's being the dirtiest fighter ever. And it's like, this guy is well within his rights to pick this dude up and throw him over his shoulder. This is not boxing, right? This guy want to be wrestling. Like, anyway, just a lot of disgusting shit. Schofield comes forward, breaks, right? Puts his head down, right? Did he throw a single punch? What was his plan here? Was it just to put his head onto this guy's line? Like, shifting forward for what? You know? And then that gets us back to here, leaping, gets him, penduluming onto his line, right? And again, why is he so close? Floyd Schofield kind of shoves him while he's throwing this body shot. And I don't know if that makes the body shot go low, if it makes it this, if it makes it that. But Schofield, all fight long, was putting himself in a position where there was no room to punch in between them after he would throw big, risky punches. And Ciro, whatever his name is, finally starting to find an opening, kind of gets shoved here. Random, right? Pretends like it hurts, like it's the hardest punch or whatever, and they stop the fight. It's the first low blow of the fight. And all the other fouls in the fight, probably exactly just like this one, right? With Suero, his body being manipulated while he's punching, right? Or whatever is going on. But Floyd Schofield's inability to actually box and do anything with his crazy athleticism um, is the cause of it. Is the referee stuff was disgusting. They never warned Floyd for coming in with his face, right? He should have been deducted a point, right? I mean, if he's going to keep bashing everybody else's face with his face, fight after fight, and get cuts, how are people not noticing? How dumb does the opponent's camp have to be not to bring it up? Hey, guys, I know that, I mean, maybe it's the strategy. Let the guy come in with his face and get cuts that are his own damn fault, and then maybe he can't see and you knock him out, right? Maybe it's on there. No, it's not how it works. Make this guy learn how to fight. He's got so much learning and growing to do, especially if he's not allowed to literally just jump on you and make you hold his weight, right? But Suero didn't do anything wrong. I know I saw the clip of him grabbing and and lifting the guy's leg too. But here's the thing. Floyd should not be allowed to hold his opponent's head down just because he threw a big leaping hook, right? It's okay. One beat, right? One tiny fraction of a beat. Oh, maybe I'll fall down. Maybe I'll catch my weight, And you can still turn that into an incredible advantage and an incompletely insurmountable advantage. There's no reason that he needs to hold his head down. And again, looking at, scrubs like this kid, right? You just see that there are levels to this. And the fact that he hasn't even figured out how to take advantage of his own cheating, right? Just shows you, how poor his actual technique really is. I'm not saying like I think Suero's like a good fighter, right? He definitely was kicking Schofield's ass. I don't think that Schofield was landing even the better shots. He was getting picked off, and then he would just do something like this and hold. You know. Anyway, the officiating was crap. The announcers, right? Oh, he's got that lunging style, that this and that. Oh, and then they talk about it in the second round or third round. He's like, oh, he's figured out the lunging style timing, and he's picking him off. And the whole time, like, this guy's cheating, right? He's getting picked off. They're like, oh, he barely missed with the left hook right there. Right after he just got punched in the face a bunch of times, and nobody's even saying anything about it. Those idiot announcers, they don't know shit about fighting. They don't know shit about what they're seeing. They're basically just giving Schofield a blowjob the whole time. And like, what? Now, every video you see about this fight, oh, Suero's the dirtiest fighter ever. Suero this, Suero that. And it's like, Floyd Schofield doesn't even know how to fight. Nobody even paid attention to that. This guy's face looks like shit. And why? Because he was trying to bash it against this other guy's face? Because when he would pendulum onto the guy's line and shove him, oh, he wouldn't always get the shove, so his head would compete for space with the other guy's head? Oh, and it turned out he would lose? But this was a disgusting display of boxing. This is terrible. And the fact that Suero is getting DQ'd for it, right? It's like the guy was clearly going to lose the fight, right? Make them rematch, right? I bet Suero knocks him out. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be watching Joe Joyce fight whatever that dude's name was, Cash something, on Patreon. We're also going to be watching Zepeda knock out Maxie Hughes. And like, what a joke this world is, right? Maxie Hughes has to fight Zepeda in his next fight for nothing, probably no money, just opportunity, right after he put on a clinic on George Kambosos, and George Kambosos, that idiot, that scrub of a fighter, gets rewarded with yet another title shot. He didn't deserve the ones against Haney because he didn't beat Teofimo Lopez. And then we had to watch that shit twice. And then he gets a free victory against Maxie Hughes because, oh, Australia, oh yeah, whoa. And now we have to watch that bum fight Lomachenko, which, by the way, I'm probably not even going to watch. Who cares? That fight doesn't mean anything. And a guy who shouldn't have gotten any title shots, why was Teofimo Lopez defending against Kambosos anyway? Why didn't his stupid ass just fight Lomachenko again? Just unfucking real. Unreal, the fights that we've been subjected to. Because the best fighter doesn't always win. Because the officiating is like this, was shit. Right? Anyway. Another thing, I just want to complain about this too. Fucking stupid ass Shakur Stevenson telling some other guy to go fight Zepeda, and then he'll fight that guy if he beats Zepeda. Not saying that he will fight Zepeda if Zepeda wins, but telling that guy, go beat Zepeda for me first. I can't beat Zepeda. So someone go beat Zepeda and earn your victory with me. Do me a favor. Jesus Christ. I mean, that guy really knows what boxing is now, right? Finally not fighting with little kids, right? De Los Santos gets in there and shows him what a heater looks like, and he gets a little gun shy. Anyway, um, we're gonna be watching those fights on Patreon. Check them out. 7-day free trial. So if you want to check them out, 7 days for free, and then after that it's $10 a month. And we do all the most major fights. We do pre-fight breakdowns, full fight breakdowns, um, and cool stuff like that. But anyway, I just had to make this video because I think if people are not putting out good content, and you have all these people like, oh, he was cheating the whole time, like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Right? And just because you think you've watched enough film study videos to put out and make your own content doesn't mean you know what the fuck you're talking about. And everyone painting Suero like he's the bad guy in this fight when Floyd Schofield literally can't fucking box at all. Literally a shitty boxer. Right? You guys see that clip of that guy doing the pendulum leaping hooks on the heavy bag right there who had more control of his leaping left hook than Floyd Schofield here? And that guy's not even an amateur. That's how basic it is to learn what this guy's doing. If you guys want to check it out, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. Teach you everything you need to do. Blah 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 blah. All that great stuff. Hands down, the greatest combat system that ever will be or ever has been. Okay. And again, bridging the gap between you and someone like Floyd Schofield is just a matter of you getting strong enough to compete with him. Because if this guy is allowed to just throw a big leaping left hook and then shove you around and then leaping left hook and shove you and leaping left hook, and you can't catch him, you can't beat him, you can't catch him in between, there's no space for you to beat this guy, right? But again, I think he was going to lose this fight. I think he might have even got knocked out. And he's probably fighting a guy who's not even a puncher. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah.